Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent we are flying high above Alameda, California. That's right. We are taking our last trip. Did I say that right? Well, it could be our last trip. We don't know, but yes. Let's get this drone in the air and take our last trip to the Oakland glass recycling plant, our Owens plant. There she is. Well, not really, not anymore. Just a big old slab of concrete. So as I get this drone all focused in and make sure it flies, that's one thing you want to do before you take off on your drone is sit there a minute and make sure everything is working. You don't want to get way over here and have something go wrong. But do you see something missing here? Well, I sure do. You remember that big recycling glass plant with 3 smokestacks and a power plant and a guard shack and all the wood buildings? Well, they are all gone. Nothing left but the piles of rubble and a couple loading docks that go to nowhere. So at one time, these loading docks were getting loaded and unloaded with bottle making supplies. I don't know if they made bottles here or just recycled them, but it was a glass recycling plant, so it had to come in one way and go out another, I would imagine. But they still have this green pit of water that collects rainwater, I would imagine. And you see that little tunnel? That would be something to explore if you could get in there. Where does that tunnel go? I don't know, but maybe there's a treasure down there. But here's what one of my comment people were saying, one of my viewers that said, hey, this stuff should be covered up. You could see how they got a lot of stuff covered up, but it looks like the bags have completely blown off of that pile. You can see all around the pile there's like little bags that held plastic on at one time, but that bag is long gone. And what makes these piles different? I don't know. That was the only piece of construction equipment here on this job. And it looks like they did start breaking up a little bit of concrete, but they stopped for some reason. I don't know why. There are some old steps that used to go down into the warehouse there that used to be there. So they haven't really broken a lot of concrete up except for the walls. But yeah, all this concrete is supposed to be covered with tarps, I do imagine. I don't think they like that dust blowing around, but who am I to tell them what to do? I guess they know what they're doing. But yeah, see these loading docks? Why didn't they break those up? You think they would chip those down? I don't know. That right there used to be the old brick power plant part of the operation, or mechanical room, I do believe. That was like one of the original brick buildings, and it's all gone. Now, I did see a couple trucks here. Like one guy in that truck, he was maintaining a pump. So you can see that line that's hooked up to a pump. So they are pumping this water into this little pit. And I'm sure that pit probably goes right into the bay. So, or into the sewer line, I don't know. But yeah, that water is getting pumped somewhere. So this place is pretty much wrapped up. There is one guy with a pump there just controlling the water, and this security guard, you can see that somebody is here that keeps people like me from wandering around the property. His door's open and he's letting everybody know that somebody is here. He might be asleep, but his door is open. I did not see anybody walking around or patrolling the premises while I was there this morning. But yeah, I heard through the grapevine that they are not going to let them start breaking all this up because of the dust. The neighbors are complaining that all the silica and dust is hazardous to their well-being, as they say. Whatever well-being is. I don't know how your well can be in this day and age, because everything is so crazy. It looks like across the street they still have that burnt out building over there. And that guard shack looks like the only thing left of structural wise. I don't know why they didn't tear that down right there at the gate, but that is the only, maybe just so the guy can get out of the rain. I don't know. So I do believe this is 24 acres. 24 acres of real estate. And there she is. And you couldn't ask really for a better location. Right off of the 880 freeway like that. Oh boy. So when real estate is money, boy, that's a lot of money just sitting there blowing in the wind. And all those people to the right of your screen in that neighborhood, they're the ones that have to contend with all this dust blowing onto their cars and into their lungs. So to the one person who watches this video who lives over there, thank you for all the comments you've been leaving explaining the state of this project, because I know that they were supposed to start building a big warehouse here, and this job has come to a complete stop thanks to those neighbors in those houses right there. So those people in those houses are responsible for basically fighting up and standing up for themselves and saying this project will not go on without the proper safety and guidance. You know, when they break all this concrete up, they're supposed to have somebody spraying water on the concrete the whole time that they're breaking concrete up. They just don't get to just come in here with 27 trucks and start breaking stuff up. They got to have 27 hoses going for each truck. But I think they got in a lot of trouble by the way they tore down the building, so they're taking their time on the second phase of this. Well, there is not a lot, excuse me, there is not a lot to see here today, but right there a bird came out of nowhere. So if you saw that shadow, there's that shadow of a bird. I said, oh no, I do not want to lose my drone. So as soon as you see a bird or a shadow, the first thing you do is go straight up, because the birds cannot fly up, up, up. They have to gradually go up. So that's a pro tip. So if you see a bird, go straight up. I went back over here to get one more shot, and I just kept going. I did not linger so the bird could not get me, hopefully. You know, that's the chance you take when you fly a $1,000 drone in the air. One bird can take you out and you will lose $1,000 on that day. But that's just fear. You can't live in fear, and a lot of times that'll stop me from even going out. So fear no more, as they say. All right, well, there you go. The Owens glass plant, built in the 1930s and 40s, is gone in 2026. That's right, the year of our Lord. Gone, gone, gone. Well, like I said, this is probably my last trip. I did have to put a button up on this trip. I had to finish this video. So this is the last one. Unless they start breaking up some concrete, maybe I'll come back. I don't know how interesting that'll be. Boy, it wasn't as interesting as them tearing down that big factory. Those were great times and well documented on my part. I'm patting myself on the back. Good job, Joy. All right, well, I'm going to stop talking to myself in third person and look forward to a big 8-hour video someday of this whole plant getting torn down. I'm not going to talk over all that, but someday another video will come out of the whole glass plant getting torn down. 8 hours. Make a day out of that one. All right, there's the old pirate ship still sunken in the water. No one has the money to get that out. No one has the money for anything anymore. All right, well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Owens Glass Plant Recycling Adventures Slabs No More. That's right, the last, possibly the last of them all. All right, you know the drill. Peace, love, and all that heebie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.